gosh. Muffin's experience has a level of time. The little spikes can take extra damage.
But he makes it
for
through.
free.
Wow. Don't save anywhere for him.
Oh! Muffin! Wilson! Wilson! What are you doing? No! What are you doing?
No. Oh, reach. Oh, Hellraiser saving him again.
Guys, I hope he remembers that top left keystone, because that's dash. That's huge.
Oh, he forgot it! He doesn't remember. Oh, no!
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ori 2018 Randomizer Tournament. We are in week 3 of the Swiss brackets, which means that every single, well, we are going on to the third matches of every team in singles player. This match is between Team BRB, which is Mad Insane and FluffyPrower, versus Slurp Squad, which is Galaxy and Moose. It's a 0-2 match because the randomizer is the randomizer, and they both unfortunately took 2 losses. On commentary, my name is Grim, and I'm joined by Sigma. Hey, Sig.
Hey, Grim. This match should be pretty fun to watch. It's kind of crazy to think that Team BRB did end up down here in 0-2, but they had some rough stuff, as you do say. It is the randomizer occurred to them in their first couple matches. They did make it to the semis of the last randomizer tournament, so I would expect them to be able to overcome this kind of slow start and make it to the bracket, but no match is a gimme, that's for sure.
Well, especially in doubles, like as we saw with, not to bring it up, Voulagen if you're watching, but the Vula Trojan match last night, people can get randoed hard if they get unlucky. In doubles, that's arguably even more so, because since you can be in 2 places at once, a team is more inclined usually to check the weird one-offs that you never check in singles. And once a team finds it, you know, the other player knows it's there too. So I hope nobody gets randoed. I think we say that every match, but I mean, it's always true.
Yeah, and one thing in particular about doubles is while you can be thorough and like check those one-offs a lot more, it can also get difficult to communicate like exactly what you may have left behind between you and your partner, and make sure that you actually cover all your bases. Like, when you're playing on your own, it's maybe a bit easier to remember that you haven't taken a pickup. And when you're playing in a team, it's like, well, did my partner do that? I gotta think back, I gotta ask them. We're both doing like Sorrow Bash or something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be getting underway here shortly. And I just do want to give a little brief introduction about Moose and Galaxy, who I would say are the kind of newest runners of this tournament. They had, I think, about a week of rando experience, and that's not backed up by Ori speedrunning experience either. They're kind of just joined up for this randomizer tournament. So when the tournament started, they'd only been playing a week. Now they've been playing about a month, so I'm curious to see, you know, how well things are going to go for them now that they have at least a bit more experience under their belts.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself. Our first pickup is a keystone because it's almost always a keystone. There's never a huge amount to talk about, I think, in the early game, unless you happen to get something interesting from that first pickup. In case it wasn't obvious, you can tell which team is which. The 2 screens on top are one team, and the 2 teams on bottom are another team. That it should be pretty obvious. They're also color coded.
Yeah, and they do pick up a map stone as the second pickup. I always like seeing the map stone before you get over to left glades, and you have to decide whether you go past the map stone to try to find it, or whether you go to the left to try to find it. But now, the routing is pretty set. It's extremely likely that everybody will find a second keystone, and everybody will continue to the left. All the kind of interesting, you know, split up, you check here, I'll check there stuff of doubles doesn't really start yet. Right now, we're just all going to follow the same path for a little bit.
I was enjoying how on the right side of the screen, Fluffy and Moose were like almost frame tied. They were like jumping at exactly the same time. It's kind of fun to look for those minor variations. There's a water vein shard. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's also one that you know, everyone's going to get, so that's just 1 down effectively.
Yeah, no, we expect... Okay, it is a keystone there. They could have gotten baited and gotten, like, wall jump and had to turn around from the door. So you're going to see Fluffy was damaged, so he couldn't do the underwater pickup, but Mad was able to. Found out that it was an ability cell. I believe Moose got a look at it as well, so
he
Galaxy
did, yeah.
doesn't have to go.
Yeah, so there's not a knowledge gap. Is that the Grotto teleporter, I think?
That's right.
To be quite honest, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between Grove and Grotto, because they're two words and they both start with G. But it's all fine. That's a Grotto TP. What that means is maybe nothing, but it might mean that skill progression isn't going to be in Glades. It might be down in Grotto instead.
Yeah, the true nightmare is that this next pickup, actually now we know because Fluffy and Mad split the Mapstone side and going left. The wall jump tree is the last available place for them to get something. And if they get a Mapstone at it, they're going to have to teleport to Grotto just to put in that Mapstone to actually get something that will progress them. So a little bit of a slow start to this seed potentially. But we'll find out momentarily on Mad's side, who's the first down to the wall jump tree. Which, actually, Mad never put in the Mapstone, which could be a huge problem. He might have to go, oh my gosh, he does. He's going to have to come all the way back, isn't he?
Yeah, looks like he is. Yep, that's just, there's no way around it in these early seeds when you're lacking progression. You sort of just have to make a lot of return trips, and without dash or bash glides or anything, the movement tends to be rather slow. But I mean, what can you do? The seed will give you, or not give you, what it will or will not give you.
Exactly. All right, so we have Mad and Fluffy both teleporting to Grotto. I hope I didn't miss things and, like, you know, Mad just did sneak in that Mapstone there at some point. I feel like because he went left and Fluffy went right, that only one of them did Mapstone 1.
If so, it's a potentially good optimization, but Mapstones are ones that, because they're progressive, you pretty much always want to put them in. So at this point, pay attention to the top left. Mad is going to be the first person to reach this Grotto map altar, which will almost certainly contain progression. Well, he's going to go to the right first.
Yeah, this is a minor little sequence break coming over here with no skills. It's a good choice to do this one because it's fast. And Fluffy actually looks like he failed the launch, which is okay because Mad will get the knowledge and Fluffy might save some time from never having to do it. Fluffy finds a Mapstone on the fall, and Mapstone 2 is going to be wall jump, so that will now give us all kinds of access. And oh, Mad also picks up Stomp from the experience to the right of the water vein, so that's good.
Yeah, Moose is going over there as well, so still there's no knowledge gap, which is good. It means it's more likely to be a close race. Finding wall jump specifically from that map altar, as far as all the skills that could be progression, is, I think, extremely common, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. It pretty much had to be a wall jump, climb, charge jump, something like that. Here's the bad news. Mad indeed only put in one Mapstone, so he does not have wall jump right now. And
oh boy,
that's terrible.
Yeah, what can he do? He can't even get down there.
Boss, but he can't get the pickup next to it, and he realizes that he's got to get out of here.
Yeah, so that's definitely time loss. Moose and Galaxy will, on average, be ahead now, even though Fluffy in the top right is, you know, slightly ahead of Galaxy as far as just straight up Grotto progression. Quick death there, but not that quick a death. I thought he made a save. I was wrong.
His save was back at before the crushers. Normally you do see people save at the door itself because that helps you open the door a bit faster if you can take an intentional death quickly. But yeah, Fluffy sent back a little bit there. So the good news for Fluffy and Mad is already split off from Fluffy and in the left glades, which has a whole bunch of stuff left that they weren't able to check. So it's kind of a place that you want to go back to anyways, but you know, things could have worked out a little bit better for them, I think. As well, since Fluffy doesn't have Stomp, he didn't want to fight the mini-boss, so that might be something that Mad looks to do when he goes to the double jump tree. But he probably also won't want to come back to the double jump tree until they actually find double jump.
Clean water was from the double jump tree. Galaxy just got there, and Fluffy did as well. That's interesting. That opens up fake flippers, which we've already checked, but also the energy cell to the left of fake flippers, and it will just be a useful thing to have in our possession. I also want to quickly point out Moose in the bottom right has been progressing through Black Group Burrows to grab a handful of pickups, and he will get to the dash tree before too much longer.
Yeah, so Moose and Galaxy doing good split up, Fluffy and Mad as well. Looks like Fluffy is going to put that clean water to use right away. You want to find out quickly if your partner is going to have to make a trek down to the double jump tree and just experience in there, so it doesn't look like that clean water is going to be too important just yet. We need more skills to access more water pickups. Of interest to note, Mad Insane picked up a Mega Energy in left blade, so he could use that to go through the Death Gauntlet. Of course, they already have the Grotto Teleporter, but it does, you know, save you a teleport animation to be checking those pickups like that at one point.
Yeah, Mad is not going to be able to full clear Spirit Caverns because there's this ability cell up top that unless he, you know, happens to find some better verticality, he'll have to leave it for later. Otherwise, I think it's still a pretty even race. You know, Fluffy lost some time to a death. Mad arguably lost some time because he didn't have wall jump, even though it led him to clear out the Spirit Caverns before anyone else. But so far, I think Moose and Galaxy have been playing a little cleaner. Galaxy, I think, pausing for just a moment maybe to write something down.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe deciding to go for the Death Gauntlet now, because this is kind of more completable, I guess you could say, than going upwards from here, because you leave a lot of stuff behind if you go up Grotto without having double jump, charge jump, or bash grenade to get high up pickups. So Galaxy will be checking this out. Mad Insane is dropping back onto the wall jump tree to grab the energy cell to the side of it. A really awful pickup to go back for, but this is the kind of things you expect to see in doubles. Like, it's not so bad to have one person spend a lot of time on a pickup, because it gives knowledge for both players. And what's he going to get? That was something. Dash.
That was... I wasn't sure, and then I saw Mad dashing, and that was what really, you know, solved that mystery. That's good news. It's in a rather intuitive spot, so I doubt it'll be something that Galaxy and Moose lack for too long. Having dash and stomp opens up Light Grenade Tree early, though, like much earlier than it usually appears in the seed.
Yeah, that's right. Galaxy on the left is trying to jump up this wall. This is tricky, but possible. There's like a part of this wall you can't jump on. You just kind of have to hug it and just barely get a jump. She's almost getting it, but decides to just take the fall, which is, I guess, kind of annoying because Stomp is up there. She's going to try this side. Unfortunately, this direction is not possible. Unless she's just getting energy and turning around. Okay, she's just getting energy and turning around.
Good game knowledge for someone who, as we said, Galaxy and Moose are newer to Ori, and Ori is a very complex randomizer as far as all the little minor things you need to understand. Fluffy in the top right has already gotten to the wall jump tree, but he came back down here to get dash. Also, I think I was wrong. Wait, no, I'm not wrong, because Galaxy and Moose, have they been down to the wall jump area?
They have once. They had to go for the tree to get the map stone, but they didn't have wall jump at the time, so pretty much that you have to hope for Galaxy and Moose's sake that whoever goes back to Spirit Caverns will also go back down to that energy cell by wall jump, because dash is a very significant time saver. I think the lead that Moose and Galaxy had early on is going to be quickly evaporating now that Fluffy and Mad have got their hands on that.
Yeah, Galaxy is trying to jump up this without double jump. I don't think that this is possible.
It is not. You can make this part that she's at, I think, but the one beyond that is just unreachable. So she's going to give it a bit of a try and then say, okay, back to the save, because it's not something that you can actually do.
Yeah, so Fluffy is making his way through Blackroot Burrows. It's an area that we've already seen effectively full cleared. Mad Insane is in the swamp area, and I think he's the first to go here, having a bit of trouble with this slime. He leveled up the ability to regen health with a Soul Link in order to make it past that slime. It is nice with Stomp, you can check these things without having to wait for the little mortar shots. I'm curious who's going to head to Light Grenade first. That'll be a pretty logical play once someone finishes their current spot.
Yeah, probably Fluffy heading down there makes sense. Like, just don't even bother leaving Blackroot, just do it all. We're going to see Mad do a jump, which is actually not in standard logic, because it seems odd to even know that you can do it, but gets it on the third try there to get up through Swamp. This is pretty convenient. You could look at it as sort of a sequence break, kind of, but chances are that there's access to this area in some other way soon enough, so these pickups all have pretty high value.
I agree. Trying to keep track of everything. Moose is using Stomp, he's using Wall Jump to clear a lot of these pickups that he maybe wasn't able to before. I don't think that Galaxy and Moose have they found dash yet at that energy cell past Wall Jump?
Not yet. Moose is working his way down. Looks like he did Spirit Caverns and is now checking this area, so if they do remember that energy cell down by Wall Jump is available, Moose will head down there right now probably and get it. but it is something that you might leave behind. He's jumping down. Oh, he's okay. He's doing this first and now heading back to Spirit Caverns. Looks like so. That's might be rough.
It might be. Mad, by the way, since Stomp is in their possession, the Kuro cutscene is active. Mad tried to do a save glitch, which doesn't skip the cutscene so much as give you control during it. Unfortunately, Mad's position was a little bit too far away, which is understandable. You virtually never ever skip the cutscene in that way, so he probably wasn't 100% confident on the positioning.
Mad did manage to pick up a Charge Flame, by the way.
Ooh.
Looks like that was in the swamp and somewhere along that path through swamp, so he's able to check all the plants here. And all that, the comment I made about this sort of being a sequence break is not really true anymore, because now going over the Spirit Tree and just Charge Flaming your way to this area is perfectly legit. So he'll be clearing all of this stuff out, getting a good number of checks in. Moose is going to be going over the Spirit Tree right now. As Mad approaches, looks like Mapstone 3 for Mad now is just experience.
So far, nothing too valuable from Mapstones. There have also been no Sunstone shards found at all. There's the one Water Vein shard, which was super early. Both teams found it pretty much for free. Team BRB also found one Gumon shard, which might come into play. It usually doesn't. So that's at least 5 more required items to find for all the shards.
Yeah. Now, annoyingly for Mad, clean water is on the table. They know about it. It's at the double jump tree. But he can't actually swim in this water with this amount of health. He hasn't been back down to double jump yet. And he probably wants to put it off until he can actually check, that experience orb right next to double jump. The altar is out of there. Where will the play be next? Back to Hollow Grove. So he's going to use Charge Flame and approach from the other side. This is, right now, his only way to actually get up into the Spider Sack area. So, or maybe Valley Entry, actually, come to think of it.
Yeah, Matt has had some minor, not even routing issues so much as, well, I guess sort of routing issues. Clean water is a known spot, but it doesn't have it. Didn't get his wall jump right away, so I don't know whether that's going to end up, changing the results of the race at the end of the day or anything. Mad has also, sort of checked some stuff that I don't think Moose and Galaxy have yet, so it's really hard. And you can tell me if you disagree, Sigma. It's really hard to gauge who's in the lead right now. It feels very even.
I think that Mad and Fluffy are doing a bit better because they have dash, and because Moose and Galaxy have sort of painted themselves into a situation where it's difficult to revisit that area since Moose left that behind. And I'm not even calling that a mistake. Like, that's a slow pickup to go back to. It might be forgot, or it might be just they judged it wasn't worth it to go back for that.
Oh,
there's Glide.
Yeah, that's big. Not so much right now, although, I mean, we'll take it, but especially if you're going through Sorrow. There's a handful of skills that are powerful enough, like Bash and Double Jump, for example, that can allow you to traverse an enormous portion of the map, but Sorrow is a special case. If you don't find the Sorrow teleporter, you must do a lot of work around spikes, which deal a lot of damage, and so having Glide is just potentially a godsend.
Yeah, that's for sure. And both teams do have it. Moose has been to the Charge Flame tree, so they have that knowledge. Galaxy is going to be teleporting back to Grotto. It looks like Moose is going to be going up through the swamp area that Matt explored, so he'll find that Charge Flame up there as well. But things will just be a bit slower without that dash. And I feel like I'm going to repeat that statement a couple times throughout the seed, because I don't know when Moose and Galaxy will get dash, if they will get it at all, and that's going to be a big deal.
See, I was just thinking that, to be honest, I'm guessing they won't, because that's a pretty far away one-off. Ironically, with dash, it would be much more palatable to go down there. Yep, there's Charge Flame from Moose. So we're not fully caught up in skills because Slurp Squad doesn't have dash, but it's pretty close. There's the Gumon Seal Shard as well for Moose.
Yeah, and I guess the Grove teleporter was there as well, so that kind of early swamp entry without being able to actually enter swamp is high value. 3 potentially useful pickups. We did see Matt already use that Grove teleporter if he picked it up to check out Valley entry, and then skip the cutscene subsequently. So seeing Fluffy do some swimming, Moose going through, Moose and Galaxy also kind of together now going through this area, which Makes sense because I think they've pretty much eliminated their other options. This Charge Flame pickup is essential for progression, I'm pretty sure.
There's the first Sunstone shard from Madden saying he found it at the health cell in the Spider Sack area. That's pretty valuable because at this point, if you look at the combined like breadth of all the pickups that have been checked so far, we've seen a lot of the pickups on the right side of the map already. I am still curious with Stomp and Dash. Team BRB has the availability to head to the Light Grenade tree, and using Stomp. Well, no, I was going to say using Stomp, you could attempt to redirect and go to Swamp through the bottom route, but that's going to be difficult now that I think about it.
Yeah, that's true. Mad's going to take a swim, and using Stomp to avoid some damage and having 5 health, he's able to get down here. This is a good play because he will be able to check this Death Gauntlet roof. Fluffy has not really touched the spider area, and he doesn't really want to touch the spider area until they find some more skills that let him check maybe a little bit more. So we'll see what Mad finds in the roof. He's the one covering the newest ground right now, and it's just a map stun, pretty much.
I think that's a smart check. That's something that can be, in my experience, very easy to forget, that you can use Stomp to get down there. And Clean Water comes up infrequently enough in Seeds that it's another thing that you sort of have to... It's not quite as automatic to remember, I should say. I also want to point out in the top right, Fluffy is doing some more searching in the left side of Grotto, but I don't think that he's gotten Sea Flame yet. His team has, but I don't know if he has it, because I haven't seen him breaking plants.
He did just level up Charge Dash, so he's going to be able to use that now. Okay.
So he should be in the clear, and with Stomp he can do that without expending energy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's up to 3 energy now, which is a little annoying. Okay, he's going to do a save drop here, and he's going to back up his file just in case he messes it up. We're seeing Galaxy move into the same area. Unfortunately, Galaxy also does not have enough energy for this door, which makes it a lot harder. And looks like now, with Team BRB kind of running low on options, they're going to send Mad just to get tree progress. And this is a good idea. You've got to do this eventually, so you might as well do it at some point when your options are crappy one-offs. You can have one person make some guaranteed progress, the other person check crappy one-offs. Fluffy succeeds that save drop, by the way. Gets approximately nothing out of it. So
that's a hard one.
Has got to be close to next play.
It's got to be. I mean, all the alternatives are one-offs. Even going to Light Grenade area is not like that, thick as far as pickups are concerned, but it's a skill tree. And even though this is shard, so like you aren't as incentivized to rush trees, you obviously do still need to hit the trees.
Yeah, that's true.
What else is going on? Mad is, I think, making his trip up in the top left through Blackroot. He just sort of hasn't done that yet. Moose and Galaxy just continuing to do their searching. Galaxy used Charge Flame to grab the Swamp Teleporter, which I'm pretty sure is useless at this point. Yeah, apart from the Light Grenade tree, which Moose and Galaxy can't really check because they never found Dash, I'm struggling to think of where progression is going to be. Has anyone done the Grotto mini-boss yet?
I don't believe anybody fought the Grotto mini-boss. There's also... I don't believe anybody with Clean Water ended up in the spider area and checked the experience orb underwater there. I don't believe anybody checked Horu Field's entry.
In the bottom left, Galaxy just took a death. It's not too costly. She spawned back up at the teleporter. Trying to do something that is in logic, but as any rando runner will tell you, is a bit of a pain. You can make it up this slope using wall jumps, but there are slimes all over the place. It's just not a fun time.
Yeah, this pickup is horrible. It's perfectly accessible with only wall jump and nothing else, but my god, it's so hard.
Yeah, it's to the point where I don't blame Galaxy for putting it off as long as she has. Also, thank you to Dedu for pointing this out. Fluffy found a 4th energy. That's another sort of more subtle form of progression that I didn't think about. More subtle because 4 energy can unlock the Death Gauntlet, but we've already been there. But 4 energy does unlock is the 4 Keystone door in the Spider Sack area, and with Clean Water, the 4 Keystone door in the Death Gauntlet. So that's 2 more pickups.
Yeah, that's right. So, people just chasing the one-offs right now, pretty much. And Fluffy rocket jumping on the frog there to get one of the double jump lock pickups. They're trying to find anything to break them out of this situation that they find themselves in.
Team BRB still hasn't gone to the Light Grenade tree. I'm surprised. It could be the case that they're sort of locked into the mindset of we just need to check every pickup, and maybe they've almost forgotten about that possibility. I can't read their minds, but that could be progression. It's totally in logic because dash is in logic.
Well, actually, of interest to note, somebody brought it up somewhere. I'm sorry, I can't give you credit, but Stomp was not in logic because that was to the right of the water vein, and
oh wow!
Until they find double jump or charge jump or bash grenade, that pickup is considered inaccessible. So that makes it even more puzzling. Where could the thing be at this point, right?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. There was charge jump. Fluffy just found it. That was from map. I believe that was map 4.
Oh my good god!
So now a lot of things not only become available, but retroactively become available. Stomp, as we just said, wasn't in logic, but with charge jump, it retroactively becomes in logic, which means now going to BRB, which Mad is doing. He stomped the floor, so maybe he'll continue down into light grenade area. That opens up quite a bit.
That's pretty ridiculous, actually. That all four that's their last accessible map stone. They have to put in Grotto, Blackroot, Glades, and Grove to get them all. Mad had a fun time riding that boulder for a little bit there. That looked exciting. Somehow didn't die while doing it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was Fluffy who found charge jump. He still seems to be breaking open these barricades. I'm not quite sure why, to be honest.
I think this is a typical thing where you kind of just forget the skills you have. He's gonna set it up so you can rocket jump it. Oh wait, it's not charge jump, it's double jump. Because Matt just picked that up on Mapstone 4 just now.
Oh, okay. Apologies for the misinformation. Double jump is still good though. Double jump still puts Stomp back in logic, just like charge jump does. It doesn't get you access to quite as many things, since double jump doesn't get you a lot of verticality, but it gets you enough to check a handful of new things. So it's still a wonderful pickup.
Yeah, so the question, I guess, for Moose and Galaxy is when are they going to toss in all of those map stones? I do see Galaxy has some in her inventory. I'm not sure what their individual mapstone progresses are, but mapstones can be exceptionally brutal in doubles because they're not some super important pickup like a shard or a skill that you'll call out to your partner for sure. But when you get into a situation like this where you actually have required progression on mapstones, suddenly it's like, okay, what did you check that had a mapstone that I skipped? When do you kind of puzzle out that there's nothing to do but to check that mapstone? We do see Moose going down to light grenade area, which is the first check of this we've seen from anybody. So we'll see if there's something nice down here. Oh, Galaxy heading back to the wall jump area.
Good, good.
Oh, Moose already has that dash. He's using it.
This is...
Oh my gosh. Of course, that's what... Oh my god, Matt just found Bash.
Okay, so let's take a bit of a roll call. What do we have? Dash, Stomp, double jump, wall jump. There's Feather and Bash. So right now, left side of the map is like fully accessible through a lot of different routes and all the associated pickups. Going to the light grenade tree is in logic. Getting to Swamp is technically not in logic, but you can do it with Bash. Yeah, that's... we were searching for progression for a long time. Now we absolutely have it.
Yeah, that's right. So pretty much, you know, Moose and Galaxy, I like the fact that they took this dash directly to the light grenade tree. That's going to be some good tree progress for Moose and some good knowledge. If there's anything here to help point them towards double jump or maybe skip double jump entirely, that'll be big.
Moose in the bottom right doesn't have enough energy to make a save to skip the cutscene. He's going to float around. Got enough. Okay, so now he's all right. But what a sort of unlucky situation. You always think about ability points coming down here. You rarely. It's much easier to forget. Oh yeah, I need to save enough energy to make a save point.
That's right. Okay, so let's check in on everybody. Galaxy just grabbed Stomp, Moose on the way to Light Grenade. Mad is doing Valley Entry, and Fluffy is going to take a look at what is hiding in the Glazer using that 4 energy. So we're getting basically new ground from Moose just now, getting that tree, which I don't think was anything of consequence. And Mad is really going to be the one to watch for a little bit, because he'll be checking a whole bunch of stuff over here on the left side that nobody's seen yet.
I'm curious how thorough Mad is going to be. I mean, I'm assuming pretty thorough because it's shards. But he could... There would be a justification in sort of only checking a number of things and going towards trees and hope that you find the shards on the trees instead. I guess since Mad's partner Fluffy also still has to come over here, he's sort of... what am I trying to say? I'm just wondering how thorough he's going to be.
Yeah. I do like, you know, what you're getting at there. Like, having one person just play as if it's going to be a fast seed and you're just going to get everything on your way can be good. And, oh, speaking of finding things you need, Fluffy manages to use that double jump to grab a second water vein shard right next to the grotto teleporter.
You know what? This is another play which is very smart that I didn't think about. Fluffy can totally go into Swamp from here. This could have been done earlier, technically, but the reason I said it was difficult, and the Valley teleporter as well, so those are big finds from Fluffy. Fluffy's going to head in here with Bash. It would have been doable before with a Charge Flame redirect, but it's extremely difficult to do. So this is a lot of pickups for Team Blackroot Burrows, not only on the left side of the map, but way over on the right. Fluffy has the option now to go directly to Stomp or to continue underwater.
Yeah, seems like doing the swimming pickups in this situation is a pretty good plan, because that's 4 pickups, but he's gonna go up first, check out the sky pickup with his double bash chain from the looks of things. Mad's looking at lower valley, finds another water vein shard. That's a complete water vein now for Team BRB. This seed opened up really, really fast for being as closed off as it was for a long time. So that's huge for BRB. Right now, the only question is where are the remaining 2 Sunstone shards, but with all of these abilities, that opens up a huge amount. Like Sorrow is super, super dense, Ginso Tree is super, super dense, even Swamp is relatively dense, and all you need is 2 more Sunstone shards, and you're in go mode. Yeah, so meanwhile, for Moose and Galaxy, Moose is going through the Glazer check, Galaxy clearing out 4 energy doors from the looks of things. What they need is the Mapstone progress, and that's just, oh gosh, that's just so brutal, really.
Yeah, it is. Interesting that Moose in the bottom right is going to the Glazer. He's not going to be able to get up there unless he got double jump when we weren't looking.
Yeah, well, there are a couple ways which are not in standard logic because they're so difficult. With glide and wall jump, you can kind of just hit the wall and then float back into it. You can also do what he just did there, stomp the rock to displace it, and then have it at an angle.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. He's quite new to this game. That's advanced stuff, honestly.
Yeah, that's really sick. You can also do that if you can manage to make the rock fall in a weird way and land on its side from the beginning, but that's like super hard. So just using Stomp for it is really sick, actually.
Yeah, well, that's really impressive. It's good news to get another check, but BRB is just continuing to run away with this. Fluffy went over to Stomp and actually just happened to find another water vein shard at the Stomp tree, which means that even though their team already knew where 3 were, Fluffy now doesn't need to go get the 3rd one. He already has his. He's using it to immediately go into the Ginso tree, and I'm guessing he'll be just as thorough. Yeah, just keep your eyes open for the top 2 screens as for when Sunstone shards are going to make their appearance.
Yeah, well, I do want to point out something significant right now. Galaxy has definitely checked at least 2 mapstones because, you know, wall jump was mapstone 2. She has a mapstone right now, and she's going for the dash plant. We know that the dash plant is a mapstone. So I don't know if this will maybe be the clue, like you're doing these terrible pickups and then you oh no, actually Altar is out, so gives up on that after slipping down the wall, and will not be getting that mapstone from a terrible one-off, unfortunately. The other place I know that there was a mapstone, which is maybe equally terrible, is in the Death Gauntlet roof, which is a sequence break, but it's a mapstone, and it is doable right now, so that could be a possible solution, but they need to put them in, and they also need, you know, Moose to get enough mapstones to put in. Jeez, this is, oh god.
Yep, Mad in the top left just found his 2nd Gumon shard. Again, very unlikely to come into play, but it's something. We also saw charge dash efficiency, from some of the spikes to the right of where Mad Insane currently is. Got a nice, that was either Spirit Flame efficiency or Spirit Light efficiency, some kind of efficiency for his troubles. I really like this routing by BRB. I mean, they needed to find, you know, double jump and bash to allow this kind of split to happen. And that was another skill.
There was climb on the bash tree and charge jump on the charge jump.
Are you kidding me? That's vanilla charge jump.
Yep.
Is that... Wow. Okay, that's really, really amazing. So BRB, they don't have grenade, but they have everything else, which means that if someone happens to find grenades, then grenade jumps in the final escape will open up, but otherwise they have everything they could possibly need. It's just going to be a mad search for sunstone shards.
Yeah, and they're both able to check high density areas right now. Fluffy will be able to clear out all of Ginso as far as he wants to, basically. Mad will be able to clear out all of Sorrow and then head into Misty. Like, it's just... the seat is broken open for them, and they're just cruising on through. And, you know, Galaxy and Moose are still hung up on the map stone for double jump. And this is something that, like, practically makes this seed harder to play as doubles than solo, because if you play solo, you're going to find all the map stones, but when you're playing doubles, you might not. And then, you know, yeah, here we have a Galaxy, like, checking your map, they're like, what did we not cover? What did we not cover? What could it be? And it's the map stones. It's just brutal.
It's rough that it's so gated behind those map stones. I mean, for all the skill in the world, there are still limits to what Ori can do with certain skill sets. Right now, the potential saving grace, or I should say the potential hope of Team Slurp Squad, not that they know it yet, is that the Sunstone Shards happen to be in a weird one-off that, for whatever reason, Moose or Galaxy check earlier. Because right now, Fluffy and Mad have not wasted, but they have spent a lot of time searching pickups that haven't resulted in any Sunstone Shards yet.
Yeah, I do want to point out, Moose, I believe, was the first player to kill the Grotto mini-boss. Maybe there's a Gumon Seal Shard down there. For
Are you
whatever
thinking
good
what
that
I'm
does.
thinking?
Sunstone Shards in Forlorn? Sounds
God,
good to me.
God, I hope so. We're not playing this seed, so we can hope for that.
That's right.
By the way, Mad took a pretty big death in Sorrow, had to retread some of his steps. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. Actually, Moose and Galaxy now both looking at the map, trying to decide, like, what's left to check, and, yeah, like, man, you're gonna have to do what each other did to find map stones. Galaxy still does have at least one map stone in your inventory, so she might just go put one in, potentially. Also could have just been checking the map to remember which map stones she hadn't done, because you can, like, tell from how the grayed out or blacked out areas are which ones you've done or not.
Yeah, to check in with Fluffy, he's not only continued past the bash tree, but he's going all the way into the escape, which is a smart decision. I mean, they still need Sunstone Shards. This is a rather dense area, even though it rarely crops up in seeds. Warmth return. No, that was a Sunstone Shard. I thought it was Warmth. Never mind, disregard. So there's number 2.
Yeah, it'll give you some warm feelings because you're happy you found a Sunstone Shard, but not actually Warmth returned. So yeah, this is like exactly the kind of textbook doubles play, I would say. You have somebody on the left side just like doing the, like, go to trees and check the stuff along the way, and so far Mad's turned up a Sunstone Shard doing that. So, you know, if there's another one, oh yeah, okay, he's turning around. You have charge, yeah, okay, charge jump? No, charge jump? Whatever. Remembering your skills is impossible. No,
Yeah.
he's skipping it. Oh my god. No,
That's...
he's a frog.
Oh
Wait,
my god.
remember to get a charge jump. There we go.
That happens to every single rando runner. That was another Sunstone Shard that Galaxy found in the, whatever you call this area, the butter cell, as we call it. That's something that's actually, technically it wasn't in Logic, right? Because Stomp wasn't in Logic, but that's been available for quite some time. I'm kind of surprised that BRB didn't check that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did see, like, I don't think that they ever did the Grotto mini-boss. There's a couple one-offs they just never got desperate enough to check, and, well, Matt does take a death there. We'll have to rewatch this cutscene, but not a big deal. So that's kind of, that Sunstone Shard Galaxy found is sort of like a beacon of hope, I guess, for them. If every other Sunstone Shard is just in a completely horrible spot, then they have some chance, but I feel like the amount of progress that Fluffy and Matt have pulled off in this time while Moose and Galaxy are still gated on double jump is just too much. Like, even if Fluffy and Matt have to go to Lost Grove and Forlorn, they can find another Sunstone Shard. Moose does grab that second Water Vein Shard next to the Grotto teleporter using a Dash Glide and a damage boost, I believe. So they have that now. Galaxy will probably get it at the moment. as well. Yeah, just gonna spike walk up these walls, but it still doesn't really open anything for them. It's just they do need it though, so it's good to have.
Yeah, it's like you said, we've seen both Galaxy and Moose opening their map, just trying to figure out what they've missed. And so getting the Water Vein Shard is great, but it's not the third one. And even if it was, traversing Ginso is technically possible if you do a weird trick in the second room with the skill set, but it's still going to be really, really hard. When is Team Slurp Squad going to remember that map stones are on the table, and are they going to remember which ones they've checked? Galaxy's going and checking the area underneath the Grotto Teleporter, just continuing to clear out as much as they can find.
Yeah, I almost thought they were maybe going to send somebody into Swamp there with clean water as well, but looks like they opted not to just yet. I want to point out something interesting Fluffy did. Went into the entrance of Misty to grab the extra double jump, which I believe was the first pickup, and then just turned around, because Matt is still working on the back half of Misty. Fluffy probably, you know, he doesn't want to end up at Climb and then find out that he has to either wait around for a bit to get another shard. Matt doesn't get wind restored and warmth returned. There's some events hanging out in the end of Misty, but nothing else good.
This is so rough. Thank you to Terra. Both Moose and Galaxy, they've only activated 2 map alters in total, and they each only have 1 map apiece. That means that, as we said, the worst fears have been confirmed. Galaxy and Moose are going to have to hope that they remember or wrote down or something where the map stones were, so that they can go collect them, then get their double jump. And once they do, I'd imagine the seed will open up just like it did for Mad and Fluffy, but how long will that take?
Yeah, it's just so rough. And like they have, if we're, you know, accurate on our counts, which is, it's very easy to miss things in doubles, so who knows, and they're both only at 2 turned in, they'll get their 3rd one turned in, and that's just like experience or something. They have to get another map stone and turn it in as well.
You know, I'm very glad that we have help for these matches, because we really need it. Vooligen actually popped into the live channel to tell us something very important, which we already knew, which is that the map stone is on the dash plant, and Galaxy almost checked it, but then she, you know, just missed the jump and decided to back out.
Yeah, there is some small saving grace. The roof of the Death Gauntlet has another map stone on the plant, which is accessible either from below with Charge Flame Burn, or from, you know, out of sequence stomping and swimming down through it, which they haven't done yet. There are 2 pickups there, and one of them is a map stone, which could help. But in this situation, like, they need more help than just that, I think.
Yeah, so right now, I think that, has Team BRB been to the Light Grenade tree yet?
Nope.
I don't think so. So that's an option, but otherwise both Fluffy and Matt are just continuing to search. It may look like Matt is going to the end of the game, but he's not. He doesn't have the Sunstone yet, and he still has to hit the Light Grenade tree.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't do that first. I mean, it's like hard to keep track of everything in doubles, of course, as you're playing. Oh, there's the Sunstone shard in Horu Fields, but, you know, if he had done the Light Grenade tree, he could have just kept going left to Horu after finding that shard. That's my favorite thing ever, when you get to just, like, finish your Sunstone in Horu Fields and then go right to the end of the game.
Do you know what my favorite thing is? Is when you're watching a doubles match and the one person finds the thing they need, in this case a Sunstone shard, and you see both runners just instantly stop. Mad ulted almost immediately. Mad was on his way down the Forlorn path. You saw him just immediately turn around and charge jump back up. He knows he's done. He's going to check only just exactly what he needs. There's a Sunstone shard, which for him was 1 out of 3. So Team BRB knows where the shards are, but Fluffy still has to get all of them. And both Moose and Galaxy are just talking to each other with their maps open, trying to figure out what's left. This is a very unfortunate situation to be in.
Yeah, Fluffy actually has a pretty funny path. We may or may not see it. One of the Sunstone shards he needs to pick up is in the Spider Sack area on the health cell. So he might actually go to Horu from the Grove teleporter through Spider Sack and then just like continue from there, which is not an approach to Horu you normally see. It could be a little funny. So we'll definitely see Mad finish this race first. He's, I think, already done with his trees and on his way to Horu. Since he was I'm going to be on the left side checking trees while Fluffy checks, you know, upper Ginso, he's way higher on tree progress. Fluffy will just be, you know, zipping through Misty, which is done now. That was tree 9. I think Charge Jump. Charge Jump or Light Grenade is the last one for Fluffy, and then he'll be out of here.
Yeah. Reminder that when we're playing these doubles matches, the time for the team that's used for the competitive ranking is based on the average of both teams. Although in this case, it's almost certain that both Matt and Fluffy are both going to finish before either Galaxy and Moose. But I guess just to reiterate that, it is based on the average.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, Moose in the bottom right is doing the dash plant. At least she's thinking about it. This is Moose is doing the dash plant is something he was thinking about earlier. I think Galaxy fell off the wall, so this is going to be a map stone. Like you said, that could be a catalyst to remembering to go check map stones. At least I hope it is, because Galaxy's not finding a whole lot.
Yeah, that's right. So Moose is able to grab that wall, gets the map stone, opens the map. Maybe it's time to put some in. I'm not sure which ones they put in. Moose is heading down, perhaps in the direction of the lower black or the upper black root mapstone, I guess.
It looks like that's where he's headed. Yeah. So the boulder's not here. Well, it's broken to the right, I guess.
Oh, good. He needs the. I hope he has the teleporter.
He does. I hope, probably.
He doesn't have the teleporter. He's actually. Oh, he can still get it if he falls down through Grotto. No, he can't. Oh, it's not stopped. I don't know. If he doesn't have that teleporter, then it's a big problem.
Here's the thing. Moose rushed there. It seemed like Moose's objective couldn't have been the light grenade tree, because I think he's already been there anyway. So it was clearly the map stone. I'm rather surprised that he's not sort of biting the bullet, going back to the teleporter, doing whatever he needs to do, unless he's just checking his map to try to verify which maps he's gotten, because they're still only at 2. Yeah, and sorry to interrupt. In the top left, Mad, we thought he was just about done. So as a team, Fluffy and Mad have now hit every single tree, but Mad still needs to. I think he still needed to finish up Bash, Dedu telling us that he didn't have his full water vein, so Mad had to go get it. Now he can go into the Ginso tree. Nice cutscene skip on the door as well. Save a few seconds. This is just sort of painful to watch from Slurp Squad. The only option is that they need to hit these map altars. They just need to. And they seem to be sort of laser focused on individual pickups, being convinced that there's something they missed, which it isn't. It isn't items, it's maps.
Yeah.
It's an understandable position to be in, but tricky.
Looks like Galaxy is going to head towards Swamp now, which does have a map stone in it. So that's, one good thing. Fluffy finishing that Sunstone. So I lied. Fluffy's actually going to finish with Mad's 12 trees.
Ouch. Got sent all the way back to the
God.
Smart routing by Fluffy, though. As you said, the wonderful thing about either the Sunstone in clues or a Sunstone shard in doubles, if those items are in horror fields, you can just get it along the way to the end of the game. It doesn't make sense to make a dedicated trip before then.
Yeah, that's right. So Matt will be picking up that Bash tree. Oh, he's still actually not done trees. Never mind. He's got one more. Fluffy apparently had mad tree progress going. Mad had.
Fluffy doesn't
Fluffy
have this...
forgot. He's got to get the Sunstone shard. He got it once, then it died. Then went to the door. Now he's gonna go back and get it.
I was gonna say I thought I saw 3 out of 3. So yeah, that makes sense. Kind of floating down, waiting. The thing is just not shooting him.
that elemental's a passive.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why it wasn't shooting him, to be honest, but there's the full Sunstone shard. Fluffy is still kind of low on health, so he has to just be careful for just a minute to not die, but he should be all right. And then look at this sink. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Fluffy and Matt are just they're my friends, and they're conspiring to finish the seed like in the order that I originally called way back when.
It's friendly
Yeah.
of them.
There you go.
But we have a mini race. This is a race between 2 teams, but really it's a race between 2 players. Mad won the door warp race. Can he win the...
Oh my gosh, he's still at 9 trees.
Oh,
no! 3.
Oh no. Okay, well, so Mad has to leave and go get 1 tree. I don't know which one it is. I hope he does.
It's double jump according to our truck, thanks to do.
Is it-
He never went there.
Because in the beginning of the game, he didn't get one jump because he didn't get the first map stone, so he had to back out of Grotto early. That's why.
Yeah.
What a surprising turn of events. Anyway, Fluffy does have all 10 trees. Did a save drop rather than door warp to get down here. At this point, it's just a mad dash to the finish. Reminder, of course, that BRB doesn't know how far ahead they are, so they might be shaking in their boots a little bit. Like, Mad not having all 10 trees is the sort of mistake that might be very frustrating. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it could be. Like, it gets hard, too, you know. They've made both kind of some mistakes, like Mad going there without the double jump tree, Fluffy taking that death back to the teleporter. Like, you can get nervous at the end of these races. Fluffy's going 4 fish strats here. Spawns Kuro, but has that rocket jump in time. So he has just got to hold right for the victory. And on Mad's part, he's got the double jump tree, so now he's good to go back to Kuro.
Yep, GG to Fluffy. Can't grenade jump because, you know, he doesn't have grenade, but that's just A-okay. Now, yeah, Mad is going to head over there. He has the Whore of Fields TP. That's something that doesn't crop up every seed. But yeah, so this is good news for BRB. They will be taking the victory. Bad news for Galaxy and Moose. Moose was actually typing in the SRL chats, just sort of wondering what they're supposed to do. It's, I can tell you, Sigma, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing. It's just the map stones. It's the one thing that you just forget. Oh yeah, I can still do those, and it just happens to screw you over.
Yeah, and like this is, I think I brought this point up a bit earlier, but this is like the seed is harder to play in doubles almost than it would be to just solo the seed. Because if you solo the seed, you'll find all the map stones, and then you'll probably also put them in. But because you've skipped pickups that your partner got, you know, you might not find all the map stones. I do believe Moose has enough now. He just has to put them in, and yeah, that's a situation, all right.
It certainly is. Whenever you see a map screen in a randomizer, you know that something has gone not quite as smoothly as you had hoped. And we've seen quite a lot of map checking. We also see Moose just, you know, standing still, just trying to figure out what's happening. Also, Fluffy, since he's now done with a final time of 49.05, Moose and Galaxy through SRL window know that they have lost the race at this point. I guess just another thing to think about, we did see Moose pick up that map stone from the dash plant a little while ago, but he tried to go, presumably tried to go to the black root map altar and wasn't able to do so. We, Sigma and I, assumed that he had the teleporter. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, and I guess this is a good point to bring up. There's been a little bit of discussion about it going on, but the randomizer does assume that before you break the boulder, you will get yourself that teleporter, because if it doesn't make that assumption, then you can get Keystone soft locked because you get to the double jump door before the randomizer expects you to. So it's kind of a, you know, you're cursed if you do or don't. Like, whichever way the logic looks at it, there's a potential soft lock available. So it takes the one that, you know, makes more things accessible. So access to the map stone is in logic. If he can't get to that map stone now because he doesn't have that teleporter and the boulder is broken, then it's a technical soft lock, which, you know, we try our best to like have documents and stuff that point out this stuff out to people, but yeah, like in the heat of the moment, it's maybe hard to remember. Now the good news is the seed is still completable, because despite the fact that it goes a bit against the randomizer's logic to get to swamp with this skill set, since they can't, you know, easily cross those spikes the right of the grotto teleporter, they can get to swamp with this skill set and put in the mapstone there in place of the black root one. So it's possible, but, you know, they just have to find their way to 4 mapstones somehow, and that's oh god.
Yep. Oh god is the correct reaction to this seed. Mad in the top left finishes up with a final time of 51.26. So the average is add those two numbers together and divide them by 2. So congratulations on getting that time, Team BRB. And I do have confirmation, both Galaxy and Moose decided to forfeit the race. they just based on their typing, they seem pretty down about it, which is extremely understandable. This was a rough seed. There's just no way around it. It was a very rough seed. But they tried their hardest. They checked as many pickups as they could. Not sure what else there is to say about it.
Yeah, that's all you really can say, I think, in times like this.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I see Fluffy and Mad Insane in our deck channel, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them in right now for an interview. Hey, you guys, GG.
Hello.
Yeah, GG on the victory. Tell me your sort of initial thoughts on the seed. Let's start with you, Fluffy.
I thought this seed was actually all right. Like it wasn't too horrible. But it was kind of weird. Like stuff was just scattered around far from each other.
Yeah, and Mad, what about you? Any particular reactions?
I didn't think the seed was too abnormal, but looking back on it, it was dash plant and the double jump to get in Spirit Cavern. So it's actually was a pretty awkward seed to do. But I guess overall, I'm mostly happy up until after I got the Sunstone Shard, and then my execution went out the window.
Well, I have another question. With Stomp and Dash so early on, getting to the Light Grenade tree, it wasn't in logic, technically, but it was an option early on. Why did you guys decide to stave off the Light Grenade tree for as long as you did?
I guess it was partially because there's only really like one or two, potentially two pickups if we had Air Dash that we could get there, and another reason was when I was going to go to the Light Grenade tree, I didn't have any ability points, so I just decided to not watch the cutscene or not risk not getting an ability point there. So that was one of the main reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm going to ask something related to your doubles communication. This seed was, everything was gated on double jump being on mapstone number 4, which is pretty mean in doubles. So regarding mapstones, do you make a point of remembering between the two of you where the mapstones you found were? Like, do you have somebody whose job is to check more mapstones than the other or anything like that?
Well, up until recently, we hadn't been calling out mapstones, but we've started calling out mapstones. We don't really have someone who specifically hunts down mapstones, which maybe is a reasonable idea, but we don't really do that. It's more just place whichever mapstones are in the way, try and keep up on mapstones, and if you try and remember where all of them were.
Do you guys write stuff down on paper, or do you just talk to each other?
I don't
or
write.
use something else? Sure, I mean, whatever works. So my next question, looking forward to the future. To be honest, I was surprised you guys were 0 and 2 coming into this, and I mean that as a compliment because of how talented I know you both are at Randomizer. Now that you're 1 and 2, do you have any particular, practice plans going forward?
Well, I mean, hopefully I'll be able to practice some more going on in the future, because I've got a lot on at the moment, so I can't really practice much. But soon enough, I'll be able to practice again.
Our practice plan's pretty much just practice whenever we can, because Matt can't always practice.
You know what? That's a good plan, though.
Yeah, that certainly works. So, looking at the tournament, as a whole, you guys started off 0-2, which I think nobody really expected for your team, because you guys are really good at rando, and then you got randoed a whole bunch. You're 1 and 2 now, so how are you looking at your future matches for the rest of this? You're pretty feeling good about going 3-2 and making bracket, or is it just take it a week at a time?
I'm feeling confident that we can get 3-2. I was kind of sad that we've ended up at 0-2 at one point, but what can you do? Sometimes the randomizer just wins.
It certainly does. Anyway, thank you for talking to us. GG on your victory. That was a cool one to watch. It was cool to see how like quickly you both opened up the moment that you found double jump. But yeah, good luck on your future matches.
Thanks.
So Sigma, I have a question for you.
All right.
We have one match done. Do we have any more matches today?
Well, we'll have to flip a coin and roll some dice because it's the randomizer. You have to randomize the schedule.
Of course.
Yeah. And I'm doing that right now, and it looks like we're coming up with 3 more matches today. One of which is going to be half an hour from now on this same channel. That's going to be another doubles match. Trojan Dude and Kiriru up against Rainbow Poogle and Uncle Ronnie. So we will be back for that one in a little bit, and then there's more action coming to you later. So stick around because we're just getting started.
That's right. We'll talk to you all soon.